Hi, this is Tim Hamilton, the co-host of the Maryland Crabs, and I'm here with a crabcake for your listening pleasure. What's a crabcake? Well, it's not quite a full episode, it's just a little snippet. Stay tuned and check it out. Make sure you check us out on themarylandcrabs.com. You can follow us on Twitter at MD Crabs Podcast or find us on Facebook at the Maryland Crabs Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe, rate us, iTunes. Go there now. And it's another Maryland Crabcake. So I am at the Makerspace. And being a drinker, I keep wanting to say Maker's Mark, which would be awesome if you had Maker's Mark. Do we have Maker's Mark?
Unfortunately, not on location.
Can you 3D print Maker's Mark?
No.
Not with that attitude.
We could try.
See, that's a can-do attitude that I kind of like. So I'm here with Jack Lipinski. Oh, no, not Jack Lipinski. Lipinski is the, that's Dr. Drill. Do you know Dr. Drill?
No, I don't.
No. So it's Jack Warpinski?
Correct.
Sorry, I'm Irish, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And Dan Hahn, and I know that because my wife's German, and Russell Miller. So those are. Are you guys board members of Makerspace, or are you the founders, or the creators, or are you just the guys who were here when I knocked on the door?
So Jack's the board president, and I would say like a number one founder. I'm the vice president, and I've been a cheerleader for Jack to do all the hard work.
So if Jack goes to prison or he dies. Not that I want you to die, Jack, but then you take over.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for everyone, I think. But
No.
Dan is not a board member, but he's a highly involved member and has been with us since the start.
I think I was just here when you knocked on the door.
So, all right, I'm going to lay it out for everybody. So we're off West Street at 42 Hudson
Street.
So it's an industrial park back here. So I just see a lot of car window tinters and electricians and all those sort of guys. And down below, we're in the Makerspace, and it looks like it's about, 16, maybe 1,200 square feet.
Yeah. The whole space is actually 1,800 square feet, but part of it is finished, so I'd say it's about 1,200 square feet.
Right. So it's
actual workshop.
So just to set the scene for everyone, we have a bunch of tables are sitting here, a bunch of woodworking and other kind of equipment around. We have a bunch of 3D printers, and I'm sitting right next to a really impressive one, and then a bunch of equipment I don't recognize.
Yeah, we've got a full electronics bench there. We have a CNC router, which is similar to a 3D printer, but it actually cuts wood or plastic. It's controlled by your computer.
My computer?
Not your computer.
Because that would be awesome.
Yeah. You just load the software onto it, and if you know what you're doing, you can use really any computer to control it.
Oh, if I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
See, that's the caveat.
Yeah. You got to sign up for a class.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right, so give everyone the concept of what this is. And everyone just looked at each other. You guys really got to get your story straight.
Yeah. We don't have a spokesman yet. But yeah, it's basically a shared workshop where people that are interested in tech or making or building or computers come to, work with others on those topics and also share their knowledge and learn from others.
So kind of a think tank, but with tools.
Yeah. Right. And you do have access to more expensive tools than you might have access to on your own.
Right.
It's kind of like a cost-sharing type of setup.
A good analogy that I make is it's like a gym or a library, but instead of workout machines, you have shop tools and space, or library, like instead of books and computers, you have shop tools and that kind of stuff.
So you're paying a membership, and with the membership, you get access to all of the tools that are in here, and probably you have to pay for any of the materials you use, right? So if you're going to do a 3D printing, you got to pay for the magic that makes the 3D things.
Yeah.
Right. And
we try to go a bit beyond just being a storefront where you can pay a membership to come and use the tools. Our real goals are to be a community establishment, like a library, which is what I kind of brought that up, and to be able to be a resource for people in the community to come and use tools that they don't have the space or the resources to afford, and then also to have outreach to help train people, expose young kids to technical work, technical concepts. It makes STEAM education kind of come alive and really take root in young kids, or to expose them to like trades work, like carpentry or woodworking or metalwork, that kind of thing.
So you cover all disciplines here. It's everything from metalworking, woodworking, electronics, all just pretty much everything.
That's the goal.
Yeah, we're still working on getting the metalworking side set up.
Well, how new are you here?
We actually just moved in July 1st. We got access to the building.
It's pristine. So I'm looking. The light. I was talking about the lighting here. It's really cool, thin bars of LED lights. Like I haven't seen. I take a look at it and I look back down at you guys, and I'm blind. but everything is clean. There's no sawdust yet. There's no fingers lying around or blood marks.
Well, one of the rules is you do have to do a good job of cleaning up after yourself. After you're done your project, it is a shared space, so all the members are pretty good about cleaning the shop after themselves.
Now you have a bunch of classes and everything too, so it's like for as far as woodworking goes, I can do like a rudimentary like picnic bench with instructions. But if I'm doing anything that's more I like this stuff, right? But I don't know. My father wasn't handy, so I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But so if I wanted to learn how to get better at carpentry or something like that, you have seminars and classes that I can take?
Yes, that's the goal. I mean, we've only had the doors open here for less than a month, so we've been focused on getting moved in. But this August, we're looking to start a couple classes a week on a bunch of different topics.
And it's all volunteers who come in. So if I know something in particular about metalworking or even some niche of that, I can come in.
Absolutely. Yep.
And you're going to do it for kids too, right? So
correct.
Do you go as far as like coding or anything like that, or is it just going to be like the hardware?
Yeah, there's a lot of people interested in computer science and coding, so we'll be doing that as well.
There was something kind of similar to this. It was with the Raspberry Pi, and actually one of your members, Robert Bell, he was telling me about it, and it was over in Edgewater, where I guess it was a Raspberry Pi club for kids and what have you, and it was sponsored by a bookstore over there, one of the children's bookstore. Okay. And we went to a meeting just kind of see what it was all about, and there's a lot of kids there, but I mean there was probably 50 or 60 kids there who were interested in the whole Raspberry Pi thing, which I don't know anything about. Yeah. And I'd like to do it with my son, but I don't have any clue.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing microcontroller. Actually, it's basically a little computer you can put in your pocket and program it to really do whatever you want.
I'd like to introduce you to my iPhone. I don't have to program anything. I have Alexa now. I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to turn on the lights anymore. Yeah. That's for poor people. I just tell her what to do, and there we go. But actually, Robert was talking about that, how he wanted to I asked him how he was going to be spending his weekend, and he said he was going to be building something with his garage door opener, that he was going to automate it, that he could tell it to open and close, and I nodded and smiled, but I didn't stop listening to him halfway through. But if I could teach my son to do it, this is a place to do it, huh?
Yeah.
We've got a few Raspberry Pis running right here, right now.
What do they do, out of curiosity?
Here?
In general.
Well, so right now they are, we built an RFID system to allow members access to the space based on a tag that we issue. So the Raspberry Pi actually controls the garage door, authenticates the access request.
So Jack was saying that he showed me the fob coming in, I guess it was Jack, where you have the fob that you walk up and everything automatically opens, and it's going to work with the equipment too, so that people can't walk out or by accident. We're not accusing anyone of anything, but it happens. The drills just walk away.
It's so for the equipment, it's more of a safety standpoint. We want to make sure that people take the safety training on the class before they have access to the machine. We don't plan on having any full-time staff, so any member could just be working by themselves.
So you come in at 3 in the morning if you wanted,
or if you wanted to, yeah.
Or if your wife was pissed at you and you had to get in the ring.
Yeah, I've spent many a night here with a sleeping bag.
So, all right, now tell me about this 3D printer. I'm looking at this printer right now that's about the size of a small refrigerator, or medium-sized refrigerator.
So the dimension behind you there, that large one, that's actually an industrial grade 3D printer that was donated by Amtech up in Severna Park. So that's a very capable machine. They use that in for professional prototypes. And then we have a couple smaller 3D printers, more of the hobbyist grade 3D printers scattered about the space here.
So what do you plan on doing with them?
3D printing is pretty cool technology. The Dimension SST that Jack was talking about is a dual head extruder printer. It's all used as FDM, which stands for, filament deposit method or something like that. But just basically, the extruder is this little hot head in it, and it puts a little bead of plastic down,
hot head.
Right?
It's an Italian lady. She's just really pissed all the time.
Yeah. It's like puts a little bead of plastic down, like your regular printer puts a dot of ink, right? And then it makes a lot of dots to make a word. The dots of plastic make a three-dimensional object. So it doesn't do it in just the X and Y plane. It actually prints it out of the build plate.
So what do you guys use it for?
I used it just the other week to make a jig for a job that I was doing for my professional life, and then also to make a kind of a very light disposable piece that I used in the repair. So you can very quickly make some complicated parts that, when I say complicated, like the shape of them, or if you were to make it with traditional methods, it would take you, weeks or something like that to do it, and you wouldn't be able to really get tight geometry tolerances on it.
So this place is really going to be everything to everybody. So how did it start? So who was the brainchild behind, or whose brainchild was this?
I guess kind of our group, it just started on Meetup. So back in February, I just posted I think it was just an exploratory meeting on starting a makerspace in Annapolis. I expected like maybe 4 or 5 people to show up, but it was closer to 20 actually. So, seeing that support that we had just from our first meeting, we just...
You're going to pay for that.
You're right.
Oh, no, just 3D print a new one.
Russ, are you bleeding? You're going to have to call that into the safety director.
No, I think I'm okay.
Pick up that blood.
Yeah.
But anyway, we decided to just start meeting 2 times a month back in February until we actually opened a makerspace in Annapolis. Initially, I thought it would take about a year or so, but it happened a lot quicker.
So how'd you get all the money for all this?
Actually,
or can you not say?
It all came from the members so far. So as of right now, we still don't have any
money?
Big donations. We have some money, but once we signed the lease for the space, a lot of the initial members, they paid for their first couple months membership ahead of time, just so we had some money to work with.
So tell me about the membership. I guess I know how it works. Is basically you're renting, you're basically getting a membership like you would with the gym, right. Except in my case, you would pay for it and then not go. Right. But you want to go to this, right? So, yeah. So there's all the equipment, and it's you pay for the materials. If you're going to build something, it's cooperative where people help each other out. So what's involved? If I wanted to do that, how much does it cost me?
So it's $50 a month, and for $50 you get 24/7 access to the space. I mean, it's not a business; it's a 501c3 nonprofit. So really, just a club of people interested in making. So nobody's making any money off of this. It's all volunteer run. So we're trying to keep it, as inexpensive as possible for everyone to be a member that wants to be.
What about the seminars and classes? I know you've had a few so far.
We've had a few. We haven't charged anything so far. In the future, definitely if the class is like using, some sort of material, we're going to have to charge accordingly. And we probably will have a small fee, most of which will go to the teacher of the class, just to provide an incentive for teachers to, donate a lot of their time and come in here and teach.
So is this a common concept? I mean, is this sort of like, it's not a franchise, obviously, because it's a nonprofit, but is it other makerspaces around the area, around the country where you can kind of use as a template, or is it all, I'm trying to think, it's sort of like a book club, is that, people set up book clubs all over the place, and it's pretty much the same model, which is, in that case, it's a bunch of women getting together, drinking wine and not reading books.
Yeah. There is like a nationwide, worldwide maker movement, so to speak. And just about every major city in the States has at least a few makerspaces. Baltimore, for instance, has, I think, about 4.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So do you interact with each other, or is it just pretty much like you're on a Reddit subreddit or something like that?
So when we were trying to figure out our path forward from establishing this space, we went up and toured a lot of the local spaces, well, not local, but area spaces in Baltimore. And I think there's not a ton of cooperation and collaboration, but there is some. I mean, there's national fairs for these kind of spaces that people go and show off some of their projects or learn about new technologies and that kind of stuff.
So it's all pretty much the same concept wherever you go. It's just it's a cooperative space where people can come in and build things and everything.
Yeah, there's a scale within that. There's you could be just a group of friends that rent out a space together and aren't really formal, and they're pretty organic, and whatever happens. And then there's all the way to kind of more the professional level spaces like the Foundry or OpenWorks up in Baltimore, where they have 40,000 square foot facilities with machine tools that cost north of $100,000 and that kind of stuff.
Well, you guys you have a pretty good setup here. I mean, for someone who's not that particularly handy, but I see like saber saws and jigsaws and 3D printers and that circular thing that you spin wood on and a lathe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
They all just lit up when I said that because they're so proud of me. It's like it's like my dad was across. He just, oh yes, he's a man.
I kind of like the circular thing sort of moniker.
Was there a circular thing?
Well, I think we should call it
Oh, there's one circular saw.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, so you guys are very well equipped. So any of those donations or part of them donations?
So a lot of the equipment actually belongs to members that they just brought in for the community to use, which is nice. Like I said, that big 3D printer behind you, that was a donation from Amtech.
Pretty generous. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's a couple years old, but it's like a $20,000 machine.
It's huge.
So.
I can't tell you. It's we're going to post a picture in the show notes so you guys can see this. But it's absolutely amazing. You got whiteboard boards for all the creative output.
Yep.
Well, this is absolutely amazing space. So with the seminars that are coming up, do you have anything planned, or are you still kind of taking suggestions from people as to what they want to have?
Yeah, we're still taking suggestions, and we're also looking for volunteers to teach the classes. I mean, we usually have a open house. I think it's been bi-weekly so far.
We had one a couple days ago, Sunday, so it's like the 24th.
Yeah, and we actually probably had
23rd.
Close to 20 people here.
Did you?
So I was surprised how many people came out.
So people want to come and check it out because you guys have a Facebook page. So find the Makerspace Annapolis and Facebook page.
Yeah, it's just Annapolis Makerspace if you search for that.
Yeah, so get on that and you have a website that's just up.
It's makeannapolis.org.
Right. Yeah. So, and that just came up the other day. So it kind of gives you an overview of the way it works and who's involved and what they're going to be doing. There's a calendar on there to show you what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So what if someone just wants to come and check it out? I mean, that'd be okay.
Yeah. So if they
you're not going to be like that gym guy where there's he's taking you on the tour and giving you the high pressure.
No, not at all.
Or like the hot chick in the leotard.
Yeah.
Woman,
no, we're pretty casual.
We don't have any of those yet.
Yeah, not yet. They get free membership if they.
I don't think you have to worry about it. And everyone's faces just fell.
Yeah, they can come to a open house, or if they just send us an email or join our Slack group if they're familiar with what Slack is on the internet.
It's Robert's always pushing Slack. It's some sort of project-based thing.
Right. It's
he asks me every week, is you on Slack? No.
Yeah, it's just basically just a chat room. So if you think about AOL Instant Messenger 20 years ago, that's what it is.
Time traveling, nice.
Yeah. But just send a message or email, and I'm sure one of the members would be fine meeting you here on a weeknight or weekend.
Well, this is a really cool idea. I'm really impressed on kind of looking around and everything, all the tools you have, and you're sharing the space here. It's a long facility with high ceilings, and then off to one side, there's about, 30 or 500 square feet that's kind of walled off with paper saying, do not come back here, very sensitive.
Yeah. So we share in order to be able to do this financially, we're actually sharing the space with an aerospace startup company. They're actually developing micro-satellite launch technology.
So they're building something right there?
Yes, a prototype device.
Can we look?
No, you cannot.
Can we touch it?
As given instructions that you cannot.
Like me in particular, or...
Yeah, just you.
No, all right.
No, none of the...
so John did call it.
That's one of the few rules of the Makerspace is you can't go...
Don't touch the satellite?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, kind of strict. Well, so we're going to find you on the website. So that's Annapolis Makerspace, and then your website, which was...
Makeannapolis.org.
Okay, and we've got a Facebook page, too.
Okay.
Did you know that? And we got a group, so we got two, and you guys just have one. That doesn't mean we're better than you, but I'm just saying we got two, you got one, because we got a group and we have a page.
Okay.
We also have Twitter. We're at MD Crabs Podcast on Twitter, or at Tim Hamilton 47. John's at Annapolis. I'm forgetting all these because I'm just so impressed with everything. You can find us at info at the Maryland Crabs if you want to send us an email, and our website is themarylandcrabs.com. And you can subscribe, of course, on Apple Podcasts or Google Play, and you want to leave us a 5-star review, most likely, guys. And if you guys want to just leave a real nice review there, that just helps us a lot in the algorithms, and we just really appreciate it. But to Jack, Dan, and Russell, this is awesome, and I really appreciate you having me out tonight.
No, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks for taking the time.
Everyone check it out.
Cheers. Thanks.
Great.
This has been the Maryland Crabs Podcast with Tim Hamilton and John Fernay. Sure to follow them in all the regular places, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and online at themarylandcrabs.com. Take a moment to rate us on iTunes. Now, get the hell out of my kitchen. Seriously, go!
You still here? It's over. Go home. Go.